Hello YouTube, welcome to most likely my last video that'll be on schedule, as I'll be on campus as I said on my previous video, and it'll just be harder to film things as buying coins isn't cheap and being a student isn't cheap. And so this will most likely be the last video that I have that's going to be on schedule. Hopefully I can maybe post once or twice a month, but we'll have to see. So this is going to be my 2020 US currency collection. To be honest, not much has been added. I've actually sold some bills in this collection to buy coins and other bills, but let's see what's here. So starting off, we have a large $1, 1917, one of my first large notes. Here we have a $2 note from 1928 with the seal on the left. Here we have another one, 1928, seal on the left. The reverse of these large notes are spectacular. I love them. Here you have the United States of America, $1. Here you have Monticello. Here you have another 1928 variation of the $2 bill. Here we have a $5 red note, or red seal, 1928 as well. Here you have the 1963. As you can see, there is a shift in the seal. It went from the left to the right, and there's a bit of a difference on the obverse, as you can see. The 5 is a little bit bigger. There's a 5 here. And yeah. Here you have the Monticello again. The reverse for these two are basically the same. There might be some minor differences in size and stuff, but they're basically the same. And here you have a 1963 $2 red seal. Same thing as the $5 variations when it comes to the $2 variations. Here you have Citizens Bank of Louisiana, Shreveport, $5 specimen note. Very cool. I try to pick up specimen notes if they're cheap and if they look cool. This one definitely was really cool. I love the green. Here we have Louisiana $5. It's a baby bond, as they call it. This is green text. And let me see if I can... Yeah, over here, I have a red variation. Red ink, basically. Nothing really crazy about it. It's just really cool that I was able to pick up another variant of this bill. So green and red. This is the back of the Shreveport. And there you go. Next, we have one of my favorites in my collection. A $20 Hawaiian Note. And a $1 Hawaiian Note. For those of you wondering why these notes exist, it's because during World War II, the United States was worried that the Japanese would be able to invade Hawaii. So they began printing these notes so that if Japan ever did arrive in Hawaii and try to use these notes, they wouldn't be accepted because of the big distinguishing factor of the brown seal and on the reverse. Same reasoning for this note right here. It's a $1 North African note from World War II. As you can see, this says Hawaii on the reverse. Very cool. If you like history, I would definitely recommend trying to pick one of these up. They're not extremely expensive, but they're not also very cheap. They're like in this nice middle ground depending on the condition you try to go for. Here we have one of my just favorite notes in my entire collection, and maybe just in like design as well. The $1 1899 Black Eagle. Of course, the name given because of the Black Eagle right in the middle. Here we have Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant on the front. One of the few bills, if not only bill, with 2 presidents on it. Beautiful note. I just can't say anything else. Just beautiful. Here we have another larger note. As you can see, 2 large notes. This is called the Horse Blanket, 1923 silver certificate. And here we have a 1928 silver certificate called the Funny Back, and you'll see why. Here is that 1899 Black Eagle, very cool obverse. Here we have the Horse Blanket, given that name because of its large size. Here we have the Funny Back, very different when compared to modern bills and kind of like even the ones we have before it. As you can see, this silver certificate and this silver certificate. This is a very different design choice. Here we have $10 silver certificate from 1934. Here we have a $5 from that same style, 1934D. And here's from 53A. So as you can see, the difference is the same thing as the red seals. Some color differences here and there, and some size differences. Here we have the reverse. And for those of you who are new to currency collecting, these silver certificates back then would be able to be exchanged for their value in silver at banks. Not like today, where our currency is now considered fiat, aka they're kind of backed just by our word. And another cool thing is, as you can see right here, there is no "In God We Trust." That is added later in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 57. This addition was because the president at the time, I kind of forgot already who he was, maybe Eisenhower, doubt it, decided that in order to kind of fight the communists, aka the Soviet Union, and their atheism, they began printing "In God We Trust" in order to show that the US was a religious superpower. Here we have the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond, Virginia, another very cool piece that I have, 1929. These Federal Reserve notes are interesting because you can get them from almost any major city, but depending on the city, actually, their price can vary drastically. And here we have the set that I always recommend beginners to start with. It's the 1990s set. You can get them mostly, I got all of these in circulation, and they're very easy to find. Here you have the $100 bill, $50 bill, $20 bill. The reverses are quite awesome as well. The $10 bill, the $5 bill, and of course the $2 bill. Very simple set to collect, but it's a fun challenge for new collectors as it does not require any money because you don't need to buy them. And lastly, you have the second part, mostly modern notes. Here we have 2009 $100 bill star note. I have a couple star notes behind it. Here we have a $50, just kind of the design before the most modern one that we have. Another easy set to collect if you want to start off collecting currency. Here we have a $20 bill. Here's the reverse of the 50 and the 20. Have a $5 bill, $5 bill, $5 bill. Again, just normal reverses, nothing crazy. Another 5. Here we have a $1 bill. This one being a bar note. Not extremely rare, but due to him being in office only for, I think it was a very short amount of time, maybe less than a year. Not many of these were printed. Not like they're super rare, it's just it's a little piece of history. Pretty cool. Here we have a 1995. Not even sure why I have this. The reverse, just modern currency, nothing crazy. A $2 bill, again, nothing crazy. I like the serial number a little bit, 227, 227. but it ends in 04, which doesn't really mean anything. And here is one of the first notes that was ever given to me to start my collection. It was a $2 bill, pretty beat up, cut corners, but it started everything, so gotta keep it. And comes some older stuff that I picked up in a deal a while back. This is a destroyed 5 cents. Here we have 25 cents, fractional currency. Called that because this was during or after the Civil War, so not much metal was there, and so they had to resort to paper. Here we have 50 cents, fractional currency. Here's the reverse of the 5. 25, 50. Here we have 50 cents with Abraham Lincoln. It's a little rarer than some of the fractional currency, but nothing crazy. Here we have another $10 note from the 90s series. Here we have a pretty cool Bank of United States, $1,000, Philadelphia. Old style, but meant for advertising. Really cool piece of history. Here's the 50 cents. Still legible, which is awesome. A $10 bill. And here's just more random stuff that I keep for no reason, to be honest. Probably just some sequential serial numbers or something. And yeah, that's it. Not much has been added, but there have been a few pieces here and there. And yeah, so I'd like to thank you again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, as always, leave a like. If you're interested in anything or want to discuss anything or have any information you want to just give out, comments is the way to go. I love responding to people's comments. And lastly, if you enjoy this sort of content, remember to subscribe, and that always helps the channel. We've recently surpassed 50 subscribers, and hopefully I can surpass 100 subscribers by the end of this year. Thank you again for watching, and as always, stay safe.